Hey guys, welcome to the Movie Champs episode number 22.
Double two.
Yeah, we are back after a brief
sabbatical, as it were.
Yes, an unofficial hiatus, as you may call it.
Yeah.
A lot of things happened while we were out.
Yeah.
A lot of sicknesses, a lot of work, a
lot of different things just getting in the way.
Yes, a lot of life happening.
Life happening. There you go.
So, but yeah, we are back.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, for good for a while anyway.
Yeah, for a little while anyway. We hope.
We do like to take vacations when we can, but
that was an unplanned one.
Yes. But anyways, we have quite a bit to talk about today. We have a few. Let's see. What are some of the news stories we have? We have some stories about a Pinnocchio movie with Disney.
Mm-hmm.
We have some news about the upcoming It sequel.
Mm-hmm.
And also we have something that we rarely do, but we do sometimes, especially if it's a Netflix or Hulu show, we'll do a TV show review because those shows can be binge watched almost as if it's a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's something that we can binge real quick, we'll usually review it on this show, because we don't actually have a TV show talk show. That would just be crazy, I think, because I don't watch a lot of TV.
I really don't watch too much TV neither.
Yeah, so we try to fit those types of situations on this show.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a couple movie reviews. We got to see a couple movies while we were on our break.
Mm-hmm.
We got 3 specific movies that we're going to review tonight. Annihilation, Game Night, and
Early Man.
Early Man. Yes, we're going to review Early Man. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and jump right. Actually, let's introduce ourselves. I'm the host, Walker Cheatham, and with me tonight I have
EJ Flemming.
Yep. So we are going to go ahead and present our stories for today.
Yes.
So our first story is Paddington and Paddington 2 director Paul King is in talks to direct a live-action adaptation of Pinnocchio. So Variety reports that Paddington director Paul King is now in talks to direct Disney's live-action Pinnocchio movie, which has been in the works for quite some time. Skyfall filmmaker Sam Mendes was previously attached to direct this new take on Pinnocchio, which he signed on to after departing Disney's live-action James and the Giant Peach. But Mendes departed Pinnocchio last November. So, how does this news sound to you, with Paul King in talks for this?
Okay, first off, I didn't know they were remaking James and the Giant Peach. So
yeah, I know, right?
That's a new story.
That was a new story in itself, right?
So, well, we're going to get James and the Giant Peach remake? Okay, yeah. But about this Pinnocchio one, I have nothing but good things to say about this. I can't wait to see it because Paul King did such a beautiful job with Paddington.
Yes.
He really did.
He did.
He took the care that bring the book to life, as it were.
Right. And his simple take with the computer graphics and stuff is remarkable, because so much of that movie is computer graphics, which you really wouldn't know. I mean, except for a talking bear. That's
the bear is obviously CGI, but it's not that.
Not obvious in a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
It's obvious that it's common sense.
It's good. They didn't teach a bear to talk.
Right.
And we wouldn't be making a movie about it. We'd be studying it for science.
Right. But yeah, I'm excited about this. I was a little more excited about Guillermo del Toro's take on the Pinnocchio movie, but that one I think is canceled or at least on the shelf for the time being, and I think it's separate from the Disney one because I think his was a little darker.
I think his might have been truer to the original story.
Yeah. So this one's the Disney-fied version, which is appropriate for Paul King to be directing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I like this news. I'm mildly excited about it, but what gets me excited is the director more than the fact that it's a Pinnocchio story.
Yeah, because I really didn't like Pinnocchio growing up.
Yeah.
Only scene that really sticks with me is when the kids were turning into the donkeys on the island. Who doesn't remember that scene?
Yeah, that was kind of dark even for Disney. That was pretty dark.
Yeah, that was like, okay, Disney, you can rein this back in now. We don't need to see this anymore. We're done. Go back. We're done.
But yeah, give this a thumbs up for me.
Yeah, the thumbs up that we retired.
Yeah, we retired the thumbs up, but for this, I'll give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, we should have pulled it out of the mothballs.
Because I believe we both, for me, I gave the first Paddington, because I haven't seen Paddington 2. I gave that a 10. You gave the second one a 10. And I think you gave the first one a 10 also.
I haven't seen the first one.
You haven't seen the first one yet?
No.
Oh, man. So you got to get on Netflix and watch that one.
Yes.
But yeah,
you have to get in the
between the
to see
two
the
of
second
us,
one.
this Paul King's
2 for 2
directing is 2 for 2 and at 100% for both of us. So yeah, we'll go ahead and move on to our next topic, and that is Jessica Chastain is in talks to star in, or not star, I guess, but star in the It sequel. So let's go ahead and read the story. That's better than my summary of it. You want to go ahead and read that one?
Yeah. After months of expressing interest on both sides and reteaming for the It sequel, it looks like Jessica Chastain and Annie Muschietti are reuniting. Variety reports that Chastain, who starred in Muccietti's 2013 horror film Mama, is in early talks to play an adult Beverly in It Chapter 2. Chastain is the first piece of casting to be announced for the sequel outside of the returning child actors and Bill Skarsgård, who will reprise his role as Pennywise.
So, I believe back when we were actually talking about the first It movie on this show, like in the early days of this show,
the early days, you mean the first episode?
Yeah, the first episode.
Yeah.
I had mentioned Jessica Chastain was somebody that I had picked, or that I can see starring or taking that role in the It sequel. But as far as does this excite me, it makes sense. She's one of the best actresses out there right now. But as far as her history, I can't think of a character of hers that I actually found likable. So this would be something that would be a little bit different for her, because Beverly, that's her name, is a likable character. So I don't, as far as seeing her in an adult role, I mean, she's obviously going to become a very changed person because she'll be an adult, and the story I hear is pretty insane. She was abused and all that stuff, which kind of sounds right in Jessica Chastain's wheelhouse. So we'll be seeing kind of a different Beverly. But as far as seeing that child version and as an adult, I don't necessarily see Jessica Chastain being a good pick. But as far as what this role is going to require, I can see Jessica Chastain being able to handle that.
I agree with that. Like you said, Jessica Chastain was the first name we mentioned as casting the adult characters for its sequel.
Right.
So I'm intrigued to see where they go with it. I hope the studio doesn't interfere too much and let him recreate the magic he had with the first It.
Yes.
So if It one was like more of a director-driven movie, I could see the studio being very hands-on with it too and messing up the magic.
Right.
Let's just hope that doesn't happen.
But also, the Jessica Chastain in her early career, I probably would have said yes, absolutely, I want to see her. But as of lately, I don't know how much of a team player she is, and this is such an important that this be a team, an ensemble piece. So I really don't want her becoming a scene stealer, but at the same time, I don't know. Her story is kind of a scene stealer in itself, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of a rough thing to chop.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I really would like to hear who else is going to be working in this movie, because actually, if I hear Bill Hader is in talks, and
I can see him growing up to be Richie.
Yep, and I believe Jason Bateman. I don't remember if it was Jason Bateman.
So he's going to be Bill.
Yeah, and I've heard Chris Pratt's name thrown around, but if that's the case, he's probably going to be worth probably half of the budget that they're going to give this movie.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I mean,
especially
Jessica Chastain's pretty
expensive
in herself
Cowboy
right now,
Ninja
too.
Viking.
Yeah. And Sterling K. Brown, I've heard his name being tossed around quite a bit for this movie too. So, but yeah, I don't know if Jessica Chastain is the biggest name on here. That'd be interesting to see. But I also, I really would like to see Bill Hader and all those other names that have been picked or tossed around be considered too. But it would be really interesting to see Jessica Chastain and Chris Pratt reteam, because they were both in Zero Dark 30 also.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be kind of cool. They were both worked pretty well in that movie
I did
together.
They were in Zero Dark 30 together.
Yeah, that was Chris Pratt's, I don't know, third time losing weight for a role, and then he gained it back again, and then he did Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
and the rest is history.
yes. So yeah. Anyways, it's a mild thumbs up for me here.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're not doing that anymore, but mild thumbs up for me. But I really would like to see who else is going to be cast in this. But Jessica Chastain, if you can't really do better than her right now, so
yeah,
but it's just as far. But I mean, she's always challenging herself, so it would be interesting to find her what she does with this. So we'll go ahead, and that's it for our news stories. Right now, we're going to change things up a bit, and we're going to review a TV series. And this is one that I watched. I don't think you saw any of this yet.
Yeah, I didn't get. Even though I did, we had that long break and everything. Life still got in the way to the point where I couldn't even do that.
Well, to be fair, this has only been on for a couple of days, so it wasn't like during the big break, like the 2 week ago. Okay. This is only just, I think, this last weekend.
Okay.
So that being said, we are going to we're going to review Everything Sucks.
Yeah, that'll be the first for you too. We interview an entire television show, not the cast.
No,
just the show.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and summarize this real quick. Set in the real-life town of Boring, Oregon, in 1996, Everything Sucks is a quirky, funny coming-of-age story that revolves around Boring High School's AV Club and Drama Club, two crews of nerdy, edgy outsiders who join forces to make a movie and endure the purgatory known as high school. The series stars Peyton Kennedy, who's also in American Fable and The Captive, and Jahi Winston, who is in the new edition story, as students Kate Messner and Luke O'Neill, with Patch Dara, who's in Sully and Boardwalk Empire, and Claudine Nako of Grimm as their respective parents. Dang it all. There we go. All right, so Everything Sucks. Not the case for this show, though. Everything is actually really good with this show. This show, it does a lot. I mean, it's got quite a bit of nostalgia in there. Some of it is really a little bit in your face. Just like, remember like the member berries. They do a little bit of that, but not to a point where it kind of is annoying too much anyway. Mm-hmm. You get all those feels with Blockbuster Video and all that stuff in this.
It almost makes me want to go to Alaska. They still have a...
they still have... All right, we're back. Hopefully streaming a little better.
Yes, hopefully.
I don't know what was going on before. I don't know if anybody was able to even stick around for that. That was kind of embarrassing.
Yes, very much so. Sorry about that, you guys.
Okay, looks like we're good, right?
Let me turn it up and see. Yep, sounds good.
Okay, are we synchronized and everything too?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so disappointed that you guys probably won't be able to see that movie review that we did, or TV show review. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna go ahead and move on now to our movie review. And that is for something I'm going to have to use the mouse for, I guess. Early Man. All right, so let's see here. Here is our summary of Early Man. A plucky caveman named Doug, his sidekick Hognob, and the rest of their tribe face a grave threat to their simple existence. Lord Nuth plans to take over their land and transform it into a giant mine, forcing Doug and his clan to dig for precious metals. Not ready to go down without a fight, Doug and Hognob must unite their people in an epic quest to defeat a mighty enemy. So that is the summary for Early Man. This was pretty disappointing. I was not as far as the stop motion claymation effects and everything. This was one of the best out there so far, especially some of the landscape scenes, and they use a lot of like action. There's some like a lot of soccer scenes that I thought was really impressive.
Mm-hmm.
So this was more impressive to look at than it was to actually experience, because the story lacked comedy, it lacked heart, it lacked you really don't connect to any of these characters in a way that you normally would with some of these stop motion animation movies.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of a bummer that wasn't because especially with the talent involved, Eddie Redmayne, Macy Williams, and who's the one that plays Loki?
Tom Hiddleston.
Tom Hiddleston, all in this movie.
Nice.
But yeah, they weren't funny. There was a couple like light chuckles that I was able to get out, but as far as like a really good laugh, they weren't nothing there. So and this story was pretty simple. It was, I mean, very predictable. You saw everything coming. So yeah, it was just. I'm never gonna watch this one again. I'm kind of upset that I actually saw it. So,
wow, kind of upset.
Yeah, I mean, it was a real bummer. I was looking forward to this one. I didn't have super high expectations, but I just expected to at least enjoy the movie,
Mm-hmm.
which I really didn't. So it's kind of a quick review here. I think I summarized my thoughts. I mean, like I said, great animation, great voice talent, just really crummy story and characters. So, with that being said, I'm going to give this one a 7.5 out of 10. So, just a plain C.
Okay, wow. your review scale is very weird.
Dude, I mean, I got to give props. The movie had a lot going for it. It was just some of the elements just weren't there. I mean, this wasn't it's a completely bad movie. I think kids will enjoy it. But as far as how much adults usually enjoy some of these movies too, it just wasn't the case with this movie. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't really care for like the Shaun of the Sheeps, but I know a lot of adults enjoyed that one too. So I don't know.
Isn't that currently like at 99% on Rotten Tomatoes?
Oh yeah, that movie did really well.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't watched it yet, so I can't really comment it on myself. But
Mm-hmm.
I never saw the draw from the TV show, as far as like seeing the Shaun of the Sheep movie. So. I don't know that this movie was doing well in the box office, so if I say, have any of you guys seen Early Man yet? I doubt anybody has. But if you have seen Early Man, let me know what you think. If you agree with me, like I said, it was just an okay movie. It was nothing special.
And before we move on to our next review,
What's up?
we forgot to do something.
When we talked about it.
Yes.
All right, let me change something real quick before we move there. All right. Connect. Reconnecting. Oh well. All right, go ahead and talk about it real quick.
Yes. The It giveaway.
Yes. We are giving away every single Pennywise. Pennywise. I need to speculate, or I need to make sure I specify that they are just the Pennywise collection of Funko Pops.
Mm-hmm.
So we are giving those away. You can find all the details on @MovieChamps. I think it's just @MovieChamps Instagram or @Zachary Cheatham Instagram. Those links are down in our bio. Or not bio, our description.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where I'm at. So our links are down in the description
Mm-hmm.
to see all the details on how to win the entire Pennywise Funko Pop collection. So yeah. That's basically our 1,000 subscriber giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
Once we reach 1,000 subscribers, there's no actual set date for when this will end. This is an ongoing one until we get to 1,000 subscribers. We will give one lucky person the Pennywise Funko Pop collection.
Yes.
That is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I believe.
6 pops
6
total.
Pops total.
Not unless there's a Tim Curry version out there we don't know about.
I don't know. I know. I don't know about that one. Zach is our resident Funko Pop collector, so he's the one that knows the most about that.
Okay.
So yeah, those 6 pops up there will be yours. Can be yours, not will be yours. Can be yours if you're the lucky subscriber in our drawing when we reach 1,000 subscribers. So best bet would be for you to share that post on your Instagram or your Twitter or your Facebook and get other people involved, so that way we can reach that 1,000 subscriber number.
The faster we reach 1,000, the faster these pops are yours.
Yes. So, anyways, we will continue. And that is with the movie we both saw.
Yes.
Golly, I am game night. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and put the graphic up. And then we'll take it down. All right. You want to read that one?
Yes. Max and Annie's weekly game night gets kicked up a notch when Max's brother Brooks arranges a murder mystery party, complete with fake thugs and federal agents. So when Brooks gets kidnapped, it's all supposed to be part of the game. As the competitors set out to solve the case, they start to learn that neither the game nor Brooks are what they seem to be. The friends soon find themselves in over their heads as each twist leads to another unexpected turn over the course of one chaotic night.
All right. So, this movie was hilarious.
Very much so. Yes.
Oh, man. And the cinematography in this one was actually pretty good, too.
Which was shocking for a comedy.
Yes, because, I mean, that there was a one-take scene that was really impressive. All right, I mean, I know they're never really one take, but the way that they make it seem like that it's one take. And it was really, really neat. So I don't want to spoil what's actually going on there, but there is a one take scene that's actually pretty funny. But this movie does. I mean, this stars Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams. They're the main couple in this movie. And Jason Bateman, he does his normal Jason Bateman shtick, but it works really well in this movie. And him and Rachel McAdams have pretty good chemistry. This is the first time in a while. Obviously there's Mean Girls and all those other stuff that Rachel McAdams has done in her past, but this is the first comedy she's done in almost a decade, I think. So it's been a while since she's done a real big straight up comedy like this. So it was really nice to see her actually be funny again, since it's been, like I said, so long. She's done those Oscar-ish movies.
Very much so.
So, but I mean, a lot of the supporting characters in this movie are very funny too. What's his name? Kyle Chandler. That's his name. Who plays his brother. Was actually really funny in this. From Friday Night Lights and Manchester by the Sea, which was the last one I'd seen him in. He was really good in those. So, but yeah, there's also a really cameo from an actor I haven't seen in a while. He's only in like the last 10 minutes of the movie, but he was really, really good.
Yeah, him showing up was just the fact of him?
Yeah.
Okay, that's an interesting character to add, and actor to pull out at the end of this movie.
But the biggest standout, I think, in this movie is Jesse Plemons, who plays his neighbor.
Yes.
He seems to be getting cast as the really creepy guy lately, especially since Breaking Bad and stuff like that.
Because he does it so well.
Yes, and his Black Mirror episode on the last season was really good, but his awkward humor and his deadpanness in this movie is just, I was dying the entire time he was on the screen. As he makes everybody squirm, and it's just,
and then the way they frame him is like he's kind of creepy already. Then they frame him where he's always isolated by himself. And
yes,
he's not blinking. The very first time you meet him, he's just outside checking his mailbox. But he makes that seem like, go back in the house. Let's go, leave.
And then and Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams' characters don't handle it the way that most people would actually handle that situation. They kind of just lie very badly, which just makes it even more
funny.
More funny. So that's the other thing. There was quite a few times where you actually have to separate yourself from reality to get the joke, especially with Ryan Manguson's character, or not Ryan Manguson, Billy Manguson's character, Ryan. He's pretty dumb.
Oh yeah, very very dumb.
He was just think Chris Hemsworth character in the Ghostbusters, dumb. He's just a dumb blonde guy in this movie, but he's really funny. He's very funny. You still get a very good laugh out of it.
The murder we wrote scene.
Yes,
that's pretty funny.
Yes, but I mean, this movie. There's so many twists in this movie. There's just every time you're like, oh really? This is where we are now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I thought the reoccurring joke about the glass tables were funny too.
yes.
The glass tables are acting really weird
today.
Because they would like hit them with all their force and they would just bounce.
That was one of my favorite lines.
Mm-hmm.
I died when I heard that one. But yeah, this and this was directed by John Francis Daley and Jonathan Goldstein, who did the Vacation movie, the newest Vacation movie with Ed Helms. That was total dog trash.
And didn't they also do Horrible Bosses?
They wrote Horrible Bosses. They didn't direct it, but yeah, they did write Horrible Bosses with Jason Bateman.
Mm.
And they wrote along with 7 other people, the Amazing Spider-Man. Or that's what it's called. Oh no, Spider-Man Homecoming. Sorry,
okay,
Spider-Man Homecoming.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah, sorry,
Woo.
Spider-Man Homecoming.
I'm about to say. Oh wow, that's a wow. Okay, but they wrote Homecoming.
Yeah, they wrote Spider-Man Homecoming, and
okay.
And they're directing the Flash movie, Flashpoint movie. So, yeah.
Might get some interesting cinematography then.
Yes. So and this was a very good action movie. It doesn't go too far into the violence. There's some mild gore in there, but it's done comedically.
It's done comedically, and I did a body count after I was done. Only one person actually died the whole movie. Surprisingly enough, there are people getting really hurt.
Oh yes.
Or so it seems.
Yes.
But as a whole, there was only one death, but they earned that one death, and the dude and the person that died deserved it.
Yeah. So yeah, this was a great. If you like, it reminds me so much of Horrible Bosses, which was a real surprise for me when I watched it. I remembered I actually went and saw that one twice because I'd laughed so much the first time, and it was just as funny the second time to me. So this is definitely one of those movies I'm going to watch again because I just really like laughing, and I think the jokes will work again. And the twist won't so much, but everything else will.
And looks like we're going to get another one.
Oh, really? Okay.
Did you see the end?
Yeah, I saw the end. But I didn't. I don't always base that off of the indication, but the fact that it's getting so well reviewed and doing pretty well at the box office, I think it's going to get that sequel.
Yeah.
But yeah, now it's time to rate this thing.
Yes.
I'm going to give it 9 out of 10. A 9 out of 10.
I'm going to give it an 8.5.
8.5.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I the reason for my 9 out of 10 is, like I said, some of the jokes could have been. They don't all completely land.
No, that's why I'm giving it an 8.5 for myself.
So,
some jokes are like, kind of okay. I understand why you told that joke, but you could have been there could have been a smarter joke you could have told here.
And there was one joke that went on a little bit too long. It was between that other couple in the movie.
Lenore Morris and Lenore Morris and I forget the other girl's name.
Oh, Lenore Morris and her name is Kylie Bunbury.
Okay, Kylie Bunbury.
Yes, their joke, it lands at the end, but the setup is way too long.
Yeah,
it's like I wish you guys would have something else for them to talk about.
If they had just took out one less scene where they talked about it,
because it does go on for about 3 scenes with them.
Yeah, and that could have been if they had just went one scene without talking about it, then they had a scene where they brought it back up again.
Yes,
and that was the scene where they hammered it out.
Yeah.
That would have been a home run.
Yeah, because I really liked him and I really liked her, but I said, okay, I wish that they would quit with this joke now because it's not funny anymore. But it does become funny. It becomes funny again, and it takes a turn
It takes an unexpected turn. Just like the movie, the joke itself is an unexpected turn.
Yes, but it was wasted time up to that moment.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they could have found another way to deliver it that would have made it funnier. But yeah, that was it's just some of my gripes. But just like I said, some of the jokes. But that's about it though. And the twists themselves I don't think they don't leave any clues for them so much, did they? Or was it one of those things where they show you the clues whenever they present you the twist, and then you're like, okay, but would we have known that watching this prior?
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Some twists they don't show, but that's why they landed so well, because like the reveal before the other reveal, like midway near the end, like towards the end of the movie. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. That one was very cleverly done.
Yes. But the very last reveal, I actually had to replay some of the situations in my head to say, okay, is this twist justified, or does this come out of nowhere? And there is a way. There's only one way that was set up, and that was with the goose egg, or whatever that egg was called.
Fabergé.
Yeah, the Fabergé egg. That was the only way that could have been set up. Was with that scene, but as far as them tracking them down, that's just movie stuff. But yeah,
that's just movies being movies.
Yep. So, anyways, yeah, 9 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10. So that's what's it, 8.75 total.
It's about somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Math is hard.
Yeah. So that would make it a B, right around the B plus.
Yeah.
So yeah, that sounds fair. Anyways, we will move on now to our last topic.
She says it's lagging again. I'm just checking the stream and see. So while you do that, you could talk about Annihilation.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and present Annihilation while he checks out our stream. Make sure we're actually streaming right. A biologist's husband disappears. She puts her name forward for an expedition into an environmental disaster zone, but does not find what she's expecting. The expedition team is made up of the biologist, an anthropologist, a psychologist, a surveyor, and a linguist. And now that I think about it, I don't know if that summarized the movie, or if that summarized the book, now that I think about it. But either way, I don't remember them being those specific. I know some of them were especially the psychologist and the biologist. But I believe one of them was an EMT, and I don't know. I don't remember completely. But maybe some of that sounded right.
It sounds correct, so it must be correct.
Yeah. So anyways, with this movie, I don't want to spoil too much, because a lot of this can be spoiled very easily. So I will go ahead and just talk around some of the plot. This movie was very well, as far as cinematography goes, very good, very well acted. Natalie Portman does well. I mean, she does what Natalie Portman does, which is hit it out of the park every time. But Jennifer Jason Leigh was in this movie, which was really good, really cool to see, because I don't think I've seen her in anything since The Hateful Eight. So, which has been a while, but she was really good in this movie. She was probably one of my favorite parts in this movie. Oscar Isaac is in here. It was really good. Gina Rodriguez from Jane the Virgin, very good in this movie. She has an awesome arc for her, and it was really cool to see her break out of that comedic role and do something. I don't know if she's done anything like this before, but she was really good in this movie. Tessa Thompson, very, very good. Then there were some other supporting characters. I think Benedict Wong was in there for a little bit. But anyways, Oscar Isaac and Natalie Portman play a married couple. That was one of the weak points in the movie. I didn't really feel like they had any chemistry, but there was also not a lot of time that they actually got to spend together. and they try to do some flashback scenes to try to build up on that, and it didn't really work for me so much. So I don't know. That's not really an important thing that they had chemistry in the movie, so that's not too bad a complaint. But most of the stuff that happens outside of this, I think it's called Area X, but it's also called the
Shimmer.
The Shimmer.
I did hear that from trailers and whatnot. It's called the Shimmer.
The scenes outside the Shimmer don't work for me, pretty much at all. But for this entire movie, much like Mama, I gotta give props to Paramount not Mother, but Mother. They did Mother, and they did this movie. They're financing some really weird movies, and that's pretty kind of cool. These downsizing. Yeah, that was not so cool.
Yeah, but
they still did. They still let it happen, which is cool.
They still financed it.
They're giving these directors their creative freedom, which is cool.
Because if they let I feel the reason why Paramount is doing this because they feel like, well, we just basically gave Michael Bay like $300 million each time to just blow stuff up. So why can't we give movies to other directors to make these creative films too?
And this one was, I believe, like $55 million for the budget to make this movie, which is kind of.
I feel like Annihilation has like an Arrival vibe to it.
Somewhat, but Arrival actually works. I mean, there's a lot of layers to Arrival, but it works for a general movie-going audience where this one does not.
Oh.
If you aren't into having a think movie, a movie you got to think about, then this movie does not work at all for you. Because this is there's a few vibes that reminded me some of like Alien, or more Aliens for that matter, the James Cameron one. And then there's some that felt a little bit like Prometheus. So, I mean, there's some things that seem like they borrow a little bit from those movies, those like those science-y Earth discovery movies. Because when I saw the trailer for this, I thought they were going to space for some reason. That's not the case. This isn't an area on Earth where all of this is happening. And basically, for a little bit of what this thing does, it kind of scrambles up people's biological makeup. So, I mean, everything's biological makeup, because people can be blended with plants, people can be blended with animals can be blended with other species of animals. So there's really weird things happening in here. But it all, which makes for really gorgeous visual effects, which works pretty well. There's a few times whenever they were first starting out that I can see that I was like, oh, they're just all green screen. But it kind of, you'll get used to it, and then it gets better later on in the movie. But yeah, that's basically what goes on there. But it's the pacing in this movie. It was doing pretty well as far for the first two acts, but then it gets in the third act, and I remember kind of becoming a little disengaged with the third act, and then I was upset with the third act when I was with the very ending of the movie. I was pretty upset, but I mean, this is definitely a movie that you have to digest for a while. I'm still don't know exactly what all was going on in this movie, and it probably will do me better to get a second viewing of it. But to completely, maybe I don't even know if I'll even completely still be able to digest this movie. But at least some of my assumptions and ideas might be better made up by then. So much like Mother, it didn't take me quite as long to completely get all the analogies and metaphors, and Mother, it took maybe 24, 48 hours for me to get that movie. But with this one, it's a whole lot to take in. And I know I've heard from several people that they all have different ideas of what was going on with this movie. So since we're at the very end, there's a reason why I left this at the end. If you guys have not seen Annihilation, then you go ahead and just end the video now, or if you don't want to know what happened. But for now, right now, all I'm going to really do, this isn't a serious spoiler, but I'm going to try to give some kind of an idea of what I think this movie meant. You don't care, right? You don't. You might leave this movie with a different idea anyway. So this is kind of just just maybe a list of something that maybe might help you guide through this movie.
Okay.
Somewhat more than it's going to be a spoiler because I might be
It's
completely wrong.
more like here, like it's dangerous to go alone.
Yeah, this is more of an art piece than it is a movie because it's really hard to even actually spoil this movie. I'm not going to give you the whole storyline. I'm just going to give you what I think this movie meant, and this might help you watching this movie. I don't know. Mm-hmm. So it's not going to spoil the ending for you. Okay. But I think what the initial metaphor and for this is, it's basically a message of ways that people and ourselves self-destruct basically. There is a scene in the movie that kind of that really kind of helps sum up a little bit of this movie. It's right in the middle of it. It's a conversation between Natalie Portman and Jennifer Jason Leigh, where because this mission that they're going into the Shimmer, they've sent a lot of men and military people, specifically military people in here, and they all either killing each other or just dying in here. And Natalie Portman's husband was the last one to go in there, and he actually made it out, but he was completely messed up by it. So she asked Jennifer Jason Leigh, because she was the psychologist that evaluates everybody before they go in to make sure that they're okay with this going on this mission. Mm-hmm. Why she let her husband go in there knowing that like he was in a good marriage and stuff, and why she would send him on this suicide mission. He said this wasn't. I'm kind of ad-libbing a little bit here, but she's basically said this isn't really a suicide mission as much as people aren't committing suicide by going on this mission. It's more just them like self-destructive personality. Mm-hmm. So they said it's similar to the way people smoke or drink. It's self-destruction. So the way people eat or their diets or something like that. So that's more self-destructive behavior more than it is suicidal behavior. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of an analogy of what a lot of this movie is people becoming new things by destruction causing a new creation, basically, which is somewhat of maybe a tenth of what the analogy or metaphor for this movie is, but I might be completely wrong, but